Today is March 3rd, 2025, and I have officially been at my school in Chungju now for about a week. I came to Chungju in the morning last Monday, and so yeah, I guess I literally have been here for a week now. Last week was just a lot of observation. So I came to my new school. I had all my bags on the bus, and my director put me up in a hotel because my apartment was not ready yet because the person that I was replacing was still in her apartment, and I was going to move into her apartment. At this point, I have, but for all of last week, I had to stay in. I'll be honest, it was kind of a sleazy little hotel on the not so great part of town. Not that it's like it was dangerous down there or anything, but it was near the bus stop. And I guess what I could say about it is that I think I was the only person that was actually staying the night at this hotel. There's a lot of visitors in and out through the night. My room was right by the front desk, and at the front desk, even though they weren't there, they would always leave this like noise that would play when anyone came in the front door. And so I was just hearing that all night. And so not much to say about that. It was a nice hotel room, all things considered. Like it had a big bed, and the bed was about the only thing in the room. Anyways, that was okay. My director, I really like the director of my school. She gave me her credit card, and I was able to figure out how to work Kakao Taxi by myself, which is pretty nice. I didn't have to rely on anyone to call a taxi back and forth from work. And observing was cool. I felt pretty sedentary. I found myself yawning a lot because just being an observer and kind of sitting there all day when someone else is running the show, it got pretty old by the end of the week. But I was grateful to be able to like soak in all of the knowledge. My initial impressions of like the school and the kids is that compared to kids that I've worked with in the past in the US, these kids are like little angels. Like they are so, I don't want to say obedient because that word sounds like maybe it has a negative connotation to it, but when you tell them no, they stop, and there's not much back and forth. They respect authority. Again, that kind of sounds like it has a negative connotation to it, but it's a good thing. And so I'm excited to get to work with them. There's a couple different classes that I observed that were a little bigger and a little rowdier, and I could see some problem kids that I'm a little worried about. But overall, I'm not too worried about the gig. I have confidence in my teaching abilities. It will be weird considering that these kids don't really know English. Obviously, I'm teaching it to them. My experiences with teaching native English speakers with phonics and reading comprehension, it translates over, but it will be a little different. In the end, honestly, I'm not too concerned about the gig. I like the people. I was lucky enough to have one of my coworkers help me navigate like my hospital health check that I had to do last week, and she took me out to coffee and kind of told me about the city. So I'm pretty happy with the gig. My one concern so far is just being out in Chungju. I do like the city. If you've never heard of Chungju before, it's in the only landlocked province in South Korea, to my knowledge. And compared to my city back home, I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I think there's 700,000 people in Denver. I think in Chungju, there's about 350,000. So in Korea terms, that's pretty dang small. I think I'm on one end of the town, and to go to the other end, I believe it's about 3.1 kilometers. So, it's not tiny. It's not like a small town. But I'm starting to kind of feel more like those countryside vibes. There is like multiple downtown areas, and you can get taxis and stuff, and there's lots of CVS's everywhere and lots of restaurants. But the one downside is that out here in the countryside, almost no one speaks English compared to Seoul. I feel like in Seoul, even, it's kind of tough. I'm trying to get by with Korean in Seoul, but people will quickly pick up that I'm not very good at it and try to like sprinkle in some English. And out here, it is not a lot, it is not the same. And I guess that's why I'm here to teach the youth and help them with that. But uh, it is pretty tough, which for me, I'm trying to be courageous and trying to be adventurous. Obviously, I'm adventurous to a point because I, moved out to South Korea from the US. But with the anxiety that I experience, the social anxiety that I experience and have experienced forever, it's making it really tough to go to even just like the supermarket or go out to eat because of that added factor of like, oh, I'm gonna have to, uh, use Papago, a translator or something, because I just feel bad. One experience I had that since then I've even felt kind of worse about it is that I had to go to the police station to get a report from the police that since I've been in Korea, I have not done any sexual acts against minors. And so, I've been here for 5 days and I have to go get this. And so I walk up to the gate in the police station and I just pull up Papago and I have like the sentence translated. I need to get a report on sexual acts against children or something. And I just show it to the guy and he does not speak any English at all. So just imagine like you don't see any white dudes in your day usually, and you're just sitting there and then this guy comes up to you who looks strange and he doesn't speak your language and you show him this thing that says I need a report saying that I don't or a report on whatever. I didn't say I did or not, but obviously I didn't, but just just the whole situation. I'm not explaining it very well because it's like making me nervous thinking about it. But he just kind of looked at me and looked at the phone, then looked at me, and then just pointed at a building. Didn't even try to say anything. Just super awkward. And then you go to the police station. None of them speak English. I have Papago, and people are pretty accommodating. Papago is like an app made by Kakao, I believe, where you can talk into it, and then it'll translate, and you can have someone read it, and then they talk back. It's nice, and people have been accommodating when I need to use it, but I just feel rude. I hate coming to this country. Like, I just kind of feel like arrogant coming to this country and being like, oh, I can just speak English. I didn't even try to learn Korean, fluently before I came. It just, it's not a great feeling. And I feel that now, even, it really sucks in situations like that with at the police station, but even just like going to, going to the grocery store, going to restaurants, it gives me anxiety now, like, even more anxiety now after experiencing that. Um, so that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Like the job is a breeze. Like I'm like that is gonna be easy peasy. I'm gonna enjoy it, I think. But it's everything outside of the job that's tough. On top of that, I have not been able to get my alien registration card yet. There's nowhere I can go apply for it in Chungju, so I have to go down to Chungju, which is about an hour and a half drive from here. Luckily, one of my coworkers has a car and she's going to drive me, which is super nice of her. And I am grateful that I have that opportunity at least. But until then, I can't get a phone number. I can't get a bank account. And I just feel kind of gimped. So on top of that, I can't, uh, you know, do all the things that you can do. I can't shop on Coupang, or do all of the online shopping that would make some of the social anxiety a little easier. Which maybe it'll force me to go out more. It has forced me to go out more. I've gone to, like Daiso and the supermarkets. Whereas if I had the option to buy them online, maybe I would have. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. This is my first week in South Korea and Chungju, or I guess my first week teaching. Tomorrow, I actually start with my own classes, so I won't be watching anyone. I'm taking over for some classes. I have a pretty good schedule. Um, I'm a little nervous, but like I said, I think the gig is the easy part. It's all the stuff around it that I've become a little concerned about. But so far, I love this apartment that I moved into. I got to move into this new place on Saturday, and I'm feeling a lot more like at home and comfortable. I feel like now that I've got a home base, I feel a little bit more confident in just being here. So that's good. And I think that this week is going to go well at work. It's just working on the Korean. If you're watching this video, I don't think anyone's watching these videos. They're good, more for me, but and you have any suggestions on classes that I could take or like online anything on helping my language abilities, please let me know. Okay? SOS. mm. Okay, I think that's about it for my first week. I'm sure I'll remember something after I turn it off, but I'll try to check in again. All right. Peace.